Welcome to 5 Good Minutes
You're listening to today's inspirational message on the book of Esther
with Kurt Bjorklund.
As we come to the end of Esther 2, there's a place where we're told that Esther had attracted the king's attention more than any of the other women. She had won his favor, verse 17, and his approval more than any of the other virgins. So he set the royal crown on her head and he made her queen instead of Vashti. And the king gave a great banquet, Esther's banquet, for all his nobles and officials. He proclaimed a holiday throughout the provinces and distributed gifts with royal liberality. So chapter 1, he's having a party and he invites people, and he wants the queen to come in and basically show how beautiful she is to all his guests, and she refuses. And now he holds another feast, this time to honor Esther. And so there's this story of these feasts that kind of weaves through the book of Esther. And then it says this: Mordecai uncovers a conspiracy. That's the heading, verse 19. When the virgins were assembled a second time, Mordecai was sitting at the king's gate, but Esther had kept secret her family background and nationality, just as Mordecai told her to do, for she continued to follow Mordecai's instructions as she had done while he was bringing her up. During this time, Mordecai was sitting at the king's gate, and he basically hears about this plot, and he reveals it to the king, and that's how the story goes. And what I want to focus on here is this little piece of information that she kept her identity a secret. Again, moralizing on this text, you could say, well, did she lie or misrepresent or have to misrepresent in order to keep it a secret? Is it okay to keep a secret? How does God work in these situations? And I simply think that it's important to understand that certainly lying is not ever something that I think is right in Scripture. But there's a prudence that sometimes allows you to not tell all of the truth that you know, and you can be honest without telling all. And we don't understand or know what was true for Esther because the text doesn't tell us. And sometimes you're in a place where there is a need to choose prudence over high-mindedness. And that, again, may seem counter to some people. I understand that. But certainly the way this story is told, you see that this was an important element. Because the Jewish people, even in that day, were hated. And this is one of the themes that runs through Scripture, is just the way in which Jewish people are often hated by the world because they are God's chosen people. In the Old Testament and even into our day, you see this theme. And so Esther keeping this quiet probably allowed her to be queen, allowed her to have influence that God then used to work. And again, I just want to come back and say sometimes God uses maybe even our compromises, because she may have compromised, to do this for his good. And sometimes he uses wisdom, which this isn't entirely clear. But I also just want to have you see here that there is a spiritual thing that is part of the fabric of humanity with this hating of the Jewish people that God has talked about even in the New Testament. People will hate you on account of me. Was that to the Jews or the Christians? Some people can debate. But there is this theme that says if you are aligned with the God of the universe, the people who are not aligned will be opposed to you. And Esther keeps her identity a secret so that she is able to continue in the place that she is. I don't know how you ultimately take that and what you want to do with that, but it is an element of this story. It is an element of some other key facets in the Bible. And I hope that wherever you are, you can have confidence in God to say, I can trust him to make all known, but I can also say he has given me wisdom, and there are times that I can make choices that may not be as high-minded or as morally clear as some people think they should be, because I believe that I'm trying to do the right thing in this situation. How you work that out, I'm not sure, but I know that that is part of this story as well.
Thanks for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.